quality life. If you like what we stand for, please subscribe. Also, share this channel with another quality person. See you in our next video.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Honesty Hour with Faith and Beyond. My name is Kenya Prophet, and I am the host of this show. Shout out to the Quality Entertainment Network for putting on all these amazing shows and just pointing towards Christ, as we saw in the intro video. As a disclaimer for Honesty Hour, everything that I'm saying is coming from a place of love and truth, and just wanting us women to be better. And the only way, in my eyes, that we can truly be better as women is through pursuing Christ and through seeking his wisdom. And that's what this episode is all about, wisdom. And what inspired me to even do this kind of show is Titus 2. It says, in the same way, older women are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderers, not slaves to excessive drinking. They are to teach what is good so that they may encourage the young women to love their children, to be self-controlled, pure, workers at home, kind, and in submission to their husbands, so that God's word will not be slandered. So that's the whole inspiration behind Honesty Hour. And yeah, just becoming better women through Christ and sharing my experiences and the things that I've learned so far in 27 years of life to any of the younger generation that may come across this channel. And I'd also encourage, if you are older than me, please drop and share your own experiences, your own wisdom as well, because I feel like that would be also fruitful and beneficial to anyone that may come across this video. Okay, with that being said, let's get into this first topic. It says, I let my emotions get the best of me. And if anyone knows what's going on right now with the election, there's a lot of people upset. There's a lot of women upset. If you go into the women section on Reddit, there's a lot of people that are mad, upset, and frankly irrational. And one person who happens to be the upcoming Disney star for Snow White, Rachel Zegler, she ended up apologizing for her brash behavior and comments after the election. So let's see what she had to say. Okay, so you don't know, I believe last week or something, she wrote this on her Instagram, in her Instagram caption. It says, I find myself speechless in the midst of this, another 4 years of hatred leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in. Zegler wrote, leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in, leaning us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want, leaning us towards a world that is fearful. She also said the country had a deep sickness and it was terrifying how many people backed Trump's vision for the country. Trump trounced Harris in the Electoral College, sweeping all battleground states, and he's on track to win the national popular vote as well. So that was from last week, election week, and he definitely did win the national popular vote, and he definitely won the Electoral College vote, as we saw. Zegler also wrote, may Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. And she called on her supporters to abandon X, the social media platform owned by billionaire Elon Musk. And she also put F Donald Trump. So yeah, that's something that she said last week. Remember, she is with Disney. She has a movie coming out soon. That's a remake of Snow White. And Before I get into her apology, let me just point out some things that stuck out to me in this. So when she says it's leading us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want, why is that the bar? You know, why is that the thing to go to? Because there are so many preventative actions that can take place before it even gets to a baby happening in the womb. So yeah, just the fact that it like jumps over all these preventative measures to straight to, oh, she has a baby, she has to have it. Yeah, I just feel like that's just so sad that it just skips all that. That I think it's just so sad that it skips all these other steps that could prevent having a baby in the first place. And then if you do have a baby, you do get pregnant. I don't know. That's just what happens when you decide to do things that make babies. Like if you do things that make babies, you don't take any of the preventative actions that are available, and then you have a baby. That's the part of the act of making babies. You make a baby if none of the other preventative actions are there, and that's just part of it. Why I don't understand why it's just a normal thing to want to be okay with getting rid of a baby from an act that makes babies. And if you're not ready for a baby, don't do things that make babies. I don't know. That's my thought on that. Leaning us towards a world that is more fearful. Yeah, so that's just initially what stuck out to me. Let me know in the comments what stuck out to you in that, because I don't know. I just, like I said earlier, I just think it's all very irrational, and everybody made it through 2016, and I just have a lot of questions. And also, if your daughter, I don't agree with it at all, but if your daughter lives in a state where it is okay, it is legal, then technically she doesn't have anything to worry about. So there's that. So let's get into her apology. So her apology was, also the fact that she okay, sorry. So the fact that she just was like made Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. I just feel like that was, I don't know. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, for anyone to not know peace. And either way, no matter which way I decided to vote, I would have been fine because I have Jesus, the peace of Jesus. And that is everlasting. So even if someone did wish that I had no peace, I would have peace because I have Jesus. So I'm not worried about that. Okay, so let's get into her apology. It says, I would like to sincerely apologize for the election post I shared on my Instagram last week. I let my emotions get the best of me. Hatred and anger have caused us to move further and further away from peace and understanding, and I'm sorry I contributed to the negative discourse. She added, it had been an emotional time and everyone had a right to their opinion, pledging to contribute positively toward a better tomorrow. Yeah, so that's her apology, which I'm glad she acknowledged that she let her emotions get the best of her. I'm very glad she did, because she could have just made some ranky-dank apology that really didn't mean anything. And I don't know how a majority of people feel about her apology, but I am glad that she acknowledged that she let her emotions get the best of her. And but I guess it was kind of backhanded when she said, everyone had a right to their opinion. So maybe that was a little backhanded, but I think it's good that she said that she let her emotions get the best of her, because how many times we let our emotions get the best of us and then the outcome is not what we wanted, or we end up hurting somebody, and when all we needed was to take a minute, pray about it, probably talk it out with the Lord, and ask him to bring his peace into the situation, and all those consequences wouldn't have happened. Yeah, so yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So pretty much, like, keeping our emotions and feelings in check keeps us from saying and doing things that would hurt other people, as it was saying. Because we hear all the time when someone gets angry or someone gets mad, they'll be like, "Ah, I didn't mean it. I was upset." Or they'll say, just stuff like that, like, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I was upset." When you just take a moment, take a step back, really think about like how your emotions are affecting how you're acting, and just take that into consideration, and take other people into consideration too. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, sometimes I might be a little too logical because sometimes I'll be emotional about something, like in my mind and like in my head, but I won't really show it, but people can still tell like I'm upset about it. So I don't really know how to navigate that, but sometimes it's just better to be quiet, in my opinion. Like, I'm naturally to myself and naturally kind of just like quiet about things. And I think that adds a lot more peace than just constantly going at people because you're angry about something and making people uncomfortable, depending on the circumstances, of course. So the verse that stuck out to me for this whole topic situation is Proverbs 16:32. It says, "Better to be patient than powerful, better to have self-control than to conquer a city." And I think in this moment and in this instance, she probably had someone higher up tell her, maybe her PR rep, maybe, I don't know, somebody probably was like, "Hey, you need to put out an apology because your career is on the line. It can affect ticket sales for the new movie coming out." So instead of her just going out being like, "F Trump, anyone that voted for Trump have no peace," all those things, honestly, if she just left that part out, it'd be like, okay, I mean, that's her opinion, whatever. So yeah, so be patient and have self-control, because that ultimately leads to more peace in the world that everyone seems to want to claw at and want in the world. But how can we really do all of that if we're not patient people, and if we do not have self-control? So my question to you is, was Rachel's initial response valid? Was it a good move to apologize? For me, was her initial response valid? Like I said, I think if she took out the last part where she was calling out people and saying that they shouldn't have peace, and cussing the future president, no, I don't think that was valid. I don't think that was very respectful. I don't think there was decorum in that. But her first part, that is her opinion. That's how she feels, especially in that moment. Okay, you're entitled to. I agree with her that you are entitled to your opinion, but I don't think you are entitled to being rude and nasty to people. And was it a good move to apologize? I think so. I took it well. Don't know how a majority of other people will take it, like I said, but I think an apology and acknowledging that she let her emotions get the best of her, then it is what it is. Yep. So those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, and let's get into the next one. So for the next one, it says, I don't feel feminine. And I'm sure us ladies can all relate to that at some point in our lives. That I'm sorry, I'm thirsty. Okay, I'm thirsty. But we can all relate to that in some aspect at some point in time in our lives. So I felt like this one would be a good one. Okay. She says, I don't feel feminine sometimes. A bit of background info. I'm 19 and 6 foot and roughly 67 kilograms. So I'm a pretty tall girl, but also skinny. I have a light hourglass figure. I've modeled before and have been signed to an agency. I don't know what it is, but my entire life I felt as though I'm perceived as masculine only from being over aware of how I might come across. Even when I'm speaking to people and with my demeanor and how I tower over most people. If I were the other person interacting with me, I'd think I was more masculine than feminine, and I don't like it. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it right at all, but I'm not sure if it's because of my height. That's why I'm not embracing my femininity to the fullest. Don't get me wrong, I love my height, but my self-esteem is pretty low that I think of myself in a third person way as more masculine. If I wear clothes like baggy, boxy jeans and a baggy tee, I don't feel non-feminine. I feel masculine AF, as F, if that makes any sense. I wear feminine things. I feel pretty as one does. Now my mind is making me think that I could be non-binary or trans, but I don't know for sure if I identify as a woman. And but I oh, but I know for sure that I identify as a woman and I am a cis woman and I'm proud. I just want to know what it could be. I mean, I interact with people taller than me and I feel more feminine. I don't know. Any advice? Um, yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. Okay, let's go sentence by sentence. 9 foot, okay, 19, 6 foot. So yeah, you are tall, but you modeled before, so you obviously have some objective beauty because a modeling agency isn't going to just hire someone for jobs and they don't have any objective beauty. So you are up there in the pretty realm. So it's interesting that you feel masculine in that aspect. I don't know what it is, but my entire life I felt as I'm perceived as masculine. And I feel like that's just like something in your own head, unless someone has told you that you're like manly or you're masculine. But from what it sounds like it's all in your head that you feel like you're masculine when you're not. And like you said, like you do have what's it called? Low self-esteem, and that might be what's causing it. And every time, like I say, like I feel like every mental health issue goes back to God. It goes back to either not having a relationship with Christ or not being in your word enough. Because I know when I'm in my word, I'm secure, okay? I find myself being just so secure, so confident, so full. It's when I not in my word as much, or I'm just like dabbling on like Instagram, or I'm listening to things that aren't of the Lord, and I start getting insecure about like how I may look or how I may be carrying myself, or like finances and things like that. It's not until I go back to the word and I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like the Lord made me who I am. The Lord has given me the things that He has given me, and I'm to steward it well. It's just so simple. It's just so simple once we go back to the word. So I strongly encourage, like, if anyone's feeling the same way as her, or if she just happens to come across this video, go to the word. Just read the word and just see how much the Lord loves you, how much the Lord put time and energy into creating you, and He's made you for a particular purpose and all those things. And learning that will build your self-esteem. It'll build security in the Lord, ultimately building security in who you are as a person, because that is your identity, being in Christ. So all these little like minuscule things in the world, they just won't hit you they won't hit you as hard as it's hitting you now. And you'll also, I guarantee you, the confusion that you're feeling, especially around like your sexuality and your self-esteem, those things, I am pretty confident that those feelings will go away if you press into the Lord and you read the word and you learn why he made you, how he made you, and you learn his love for you. So I definitely encourage you and like pray behind the scenes that you come to know God, because you come to know Jesus, and because all this confusion, like towards the end of this, it won't be existent. It just won't. And you will just feel secure in who you are, okay? And yeah. So because like, okay, you said you're 6 foot. Someone that's 6 foot also is just Pearly Things. I don't know if that's still her name on YouTube, but she's 6 foot. There's a lot of other 6 foot women, and they never got modeling jobs. They never had that experience, and they're still rocking being feminine women. So yeah, just don't let the enemy like get in your head like that. Like, go to the Lord, know what he thinks of you, know that he loves you, know that he made you for a reason, for a purpose. He made you in a particular way. And I love that you said that you love being tall. That's great. Yeah, just do that. And one of my favorites, guys, again, 2 Corinthians 10:5. Cast down any thought that comes against the knowledge of Christ, okay? Any argument that comes against God, any thought that comes against the authority of Christ, just say that over and over again until you are not affected by any thought that comes into your head that is not the truth, okay? You are a woman, therefore you are feminine. Because you are a woman, because you're a woman, you are feminine. And that's that, okay? Great. Yeah, let's get a little bit more into my thoughts. So like I said, because you're a woman, you are feminine, it will be natural to tap into what it means to be feminine when we submit God's design for women. When we submit to God's design for women. So you understanding how God created you, why he created you, that he loves you, and you understand why God created women and how he created women, just learning that, you just naturally just start to flow in that and understand what that is and what that looks like. You just naturally understand what that looks like. You're just naturally fall into it. And the verse that stuck out to me for this is Proverbs 31:25. Okay, anyone out there that is struggling with self-esteem, this is for you, okay? Self-esteem, confidence, not really knowing where you fit into this world as a woman. Proverbs 31:25 says she's clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. That's confidence, like strength and dignity. And you're over here being joyful and laughing, like that can be you. Okay. And that's what the Lord wants for you. Like, he wants you to have joy. That is a fruit of the Spirit. Okay. You're given strength through Christ. Okay. So if you're struggling with self-esteem, just repeat this, meditate on this, say it to yourself. Okay. And question for you guys, what do you do when you don't feel the most feminine? When I don't feel the most feminine, like I said, it's probably because I need to go back in my word. And yeah, it's probably because I need to go back in my word, or that's usually it. But if I have been doing that and I still don't really feel that, it's time to switch up my wardrobe, most likely. And figuring out your style, we're talking about the style thing later. But you just gotta figure out like what your style is and spend time with Jesus. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I want to know your thoughts. Okay, let's get into the next one. Well, actually, we're going to take a little break, and I want to talk to you guys about Substack right quick. If you guys are loving the content, you love what we put out here on the Quality Entertainment channel, definitely check out and go subscribe to our Substack. Yeah, go check out and go subscribe to our Substack. This is where all of us, the whole team, posts different articles, maybe go into a deeper dive on the topics that we talk about on the Quality Entertainment channel. And this is just where you can get Christian encouragement, all the things, any deep dive topics. This is where you guys can go. Also have podcasts on here. So as you can see, all the shows are here. We have also kind of like X, kind of like what's the other one? The Instagram one. I can't think of it. You guys know what I'm talking about. But it's kind of like this, where we just kind of like post our thoughts and all those kind of things. And then, this is the weekly tea, going deeper dives on those weekly topics. And then we have Prof Tips. Then we have Conscious Outlet with Alan and Miracle. They give their thoughts. And then, of course, Faith and Beyond. And this is where we have all my books. And you can also subscribe to them individually. If there's one show that you may like more than the other, that's totally fine too. Whatever rocks your boat, that's what we're here for. Okay, let's get back to the show. All right, it is hard being a role model from our girl Skai. Okay. Oopsies. So, our girl Skai Jackson, anyone who watched Jessie growing up, we all know who she is. We know who she is. And I just want to say, I think she is so pretty. I think she's a cutie pie. I think she's so cute. But her decision making, and also I know like past things don't match the beauty on the outside. We're going to talk about decision making in this one, and wise decisions. Okay. So Skai Jackson, something I noticed while I was researching her a little bit these past couple days is that she is considered a role model to younger people. So she's 22. She just found out that she didn't just find out she's pregnant. She is pregnant, but she did not just find out. So she's 22, pregnant by her boyfriend, as you can see pictured here. He's a member of YN. Anyone that is familiar with YN, you know what's up. You just know what's up. Okay. If you don't know what's up, YN, the best way I know how to explain it is YN was for, it's like a group. So like you have YN, let me see. Got YN rapper. Yeah, pretty much just YN is just, I'm pretty sure it's a gang, but I have not found anything that really substantiates that. So I'm just going to, that's my hypothesis. But I do know like a lot of rappers have like young YN in front of their name. So he's part of the YN crew. So pretty much she just announced that she's pregnant officially. I think a few days ago. And pretty much her boyfriend and baby daddy at this time in Junction, he was recently arrested and he ran from the police. Yeah, there's something specific I wanted to. Yeah, so just going over like the decision making here. Okay, so she's pregnant, unmarried, and for me, it just goes back to another baby mama that didn't have to be a baby mama. Like Haley, what's her name? Halle Bailey. Like Halle Bailey, she did not have to go down the baby mama route. She's pretty, she's talented, and she's a baby mama. She didn't have to go down that route. And Skai Jackson, she's pretty, she's talented, and she didn't have to go down the baby mama route. Like she really didn't. But she's here now, and now her man has been arrested. So this is how he's been arrested. In a now viral video from social media, Bergen was arrested in his hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, after run-in with police. The arrest report, obtained by TMZ, reveals cops tried to arrest him on parole violation warrant, and that's when he took off running. I guess there's a video of him. I'm not going to play it, but I guess there's a video of him getting arrested and hit by a car. And I don't know, that's just like, she, like I said, she is pretty and she is talented. How did she get wrapped up in someone of this caliber? And just thinking also, like, you're certain you have a certain mindset. If you run from the police, like there is a certain mindset that you carry with you. If you're like, oh, I'm about to get okay. There's a lot here, but we're just gonna leave it at that. There's a certain mindset that you carry if you are totally okay with getting away from the police. That, and you know that you're about to get arrested. That's a different life that I don't live, I've never experienced, and I don't want to experience. So yeah, so there's a video of him getting arrested, and I guess he got hit by a car. So that's decision making number 2 was getting with a man, having a baby by a man that has a mindset like that. I guess in August, there was like a domestic dispute where I'm not really going to read into that, but there's a domestic dispute where Skai Jackson was, I guess, pushing him. And yeah, so she got arrested. But the charges were dropped, though she didn't get arrested, I guess. So then now people are like, does her boyfriend have kids already? Don't have enough information to substantiate that yes, he does. Heard people say that he might have 3. I don't know. Didn't really look into it that much. That's not really why I'm here to talk about this. Okay. Then there were pregnancy rumors. Guess she was hiding her belly. But she is clearly pregnant right there. She is pregnant right there. But yeah, okay, and then this part, okay. Yeah, and then I saw this and I was like, dang, like that's so sad. But and I don't know what happened, don't know the context of it, but it does say I guess Skai Jackson was captured having a heated discussion with her alleged baby daddy before dropping him off to a Holiday Inn. And As you can see, she is pretty teary-eyed right there. Yeah, she's pretty teary-eyed right there. Yeah. I don't know. And I just feel like being pregnant in that time period, like granted, have not been pregnant yet. I don't know what any of that is like. But I do feel like, and I do believe, like the Lord doesn't want a situation for us. Like he doesn't want us to, like he wants us to live in peace. He wants us to live with a certain level of peace and joy and love, even in hard circumstances, of course. But you cannot tell me that the Lord wants a situation like this for us. And the only reason that we get in situations like that is because of the decisions that we make and because we have free will and we can either choose to seek him and live according to his will, or we can do our own thing. And usually when we do our own thing, we fall into decisions and outcomes and consequences that are just unpleasant. Like they're just not fun. It's just not what, that was like heartbreaking to see because she didn't have to be in a position like this. But Jesus is a redeemer and he is a restorer. And it's never too late. And Skai, I pray like you come to know Jesus, you come to know the Lord, and break the cycle of being a baby mama. Because your mom was a single mom. And I don't want that for you either. I don't want that for anybody. Like, you don't have to fall into that category. And if you have fallen into that category, it's not over for you, of course. Like I said, Jesus is a redeemer and a restorer. And he's got you either way. But things can be prevented as well. Okay. Then, so she revealed that she was pregnant November 12th. And she came out with this cute, like, she looked cute. Like, she really did. She looked very cute. She looked very classy, in my opinion. But it also kind of came off as like a staged kind of thing, if that makes sense. It kind of came off like, I'm going to release that I'm pregnant now, and we're gonna just act like we're gonna eat dinner and reveal that I'm pregnant and dress really cute so that the paparazzi can take pictures and know that I am pregnant. But without addressing the boyfriend situation, without addressing who the dad is and things like that. So yeah, okay. So I guess a lot of people aren't into her boyfriend because he did go on live and he started talking about Cameron Boyce. And anyone who knows Cameron Boyce, he was her co-star on Jessie, and also he was he in Ant Farm? Oh yeah, and he was in Grown Ups. Yeah, so pretty much her boyfriend was making fun of him, and he died because of seizures. Yeah, so I'm not here for the Cameron Boyce slander, and neither are a lot of other people. Yeah, but I guess there was not any comment on her side of things from that. And I guess also yeah, there were no comments about her from that. And I guess also there's another Facebook post where he said something about he can't believe he got a Disney Channel star pregnant or something like that, something to that effect. And but she and her mom said that he was hacked, so can't substantiate that he actually said it. Okay, and then this is a post that got me. Okay, so Skai getting pregnant by a YN isn't shocking. She's hard-headed, spoiled, and rude as freak. I just know her mom is disappointed. Skai could have been the next Martin. I don't know who Marsai Martin is. Let me see. Her. She's so, yeah, she's cute. She's cute. She's 20. Please don't fail us. please don't be a baby mama. We're gonna pray that she's not become a baby mama either. Yeah, because she's a cutie. Yeah. But yeah, I heard often that she's hard-headed, spoiled, and rude. But the child turns out how they are raised for the most part. For the most part. If there were things allowed in her household, that's how she became. So maybe it isn't shocking that she ended up with someone that's a YN. So maybe it's not. You know, maybe it's not. But I just believe there's so much more potential than to end up in that route for her. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lesson to it all. I believe there's a lesson to it all. It's unfortunate that she had to become a baby mama. And it's unfortunate that she had to be a baby mama to someone that doesn't seem like he has the best head on his shoulders. And what popped in my head, like just looking through this and just learning about it, is we are where we are in life because of decisions we made 5 years ago. We are where we end up in 5 years because of decisions we make today. And that's why it's so important to make wise decisions. That's why it's so important to involve the Lord in everything that we do so that we are on the right path, so that we don't have unnecessary consequences come into our lives due to being hard-headed, due to being rude and nasty to people. Yeah, so that just breaks my heart. Like, it really does, because it could be prevented. And now there's going to be a child in the middle of all of that. Yeah, so we're just going to pray that the Lord is there and present and the child comes to know Jesus, that all of them come to know Jesus, because that is the only way, in my humble opinion, based on what I've experienced, what I've read in the Word, that is the only thing that will redeem and restore and bring peace and light into a situation like this. And verse is Proverbs 4:5. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. We get wisdom from the Word of God. And there's something that someone said, like, if you want to hear God, you read the Word. If you want to talk to God, you pray to Him. And doing both, praying and reading and sitting in silence and seeking first the kingdom of God, that is how we get real wisdom. Like wisdom that goes above what earthly things and people will see as wisdom. And then that's also how we get understanding. That's how we also come to control our emotions and have self-control. We do that through walking with the Lord in just involving Him in our lives. So those are my thoughts. I have another verse that stuck out to me. It was Proverbs 18:15. The heart of the discerning acquired knowledge, for ears of the wise seek it out. And that's another good one. Like, when we want wisdom, especially the Lord's wisdom, for me personally, when I am just like, I need it, I pray. I pray, and I may not know where it is in the Bible, but I will go open Bible.com and type in whatever topical thing I need. So I know where it is in the Bible, and I can read about it, and I can study God's word, see what he says about it. Any emotion, take it back to the word. Any thought, take it back to the word. Any emotion, take it to prayer. Any thoughts, take it to prayer. Because emotions can be deceiving 100%. Okay? 100%. Yeah. So question for y'all. If you and Skai were sitting down having dinner, what words of wisdom would you give to her? For me, if I were to give her words of wisdom, I would say, don't do life without God. Don't do life without the word. It's so needed. That's what I would say. It will help her with any and every situation that she may come across, especially as being a new mom, navigating baby daddy, any drama with that, parenting differently, all those things involve the Lord in it all. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Drop it down below. Let's get the conversation started. And let's get into this next topic. So for this next one, it says, I feel like I have to show cleavage. Okay. It says, I feel so uncomfortable showing cleavage. I know I don't have to, but most of my friends do, and I feel almost like I have to, otherwise my outfits might look childish, if that makes sense. I'm going to be 18 next year, yet I just can't seem to leave my comfort zone of exploring clothes. I used to hate my chest, and now I'm feeling okay about it, but I still feel uncomfortable even wearing a shirt, sometimes because I'm scared of even a sliver of my chest showing. I grew up around all boys because I don't live with my mom, so I think that's part of the reason. I know I don't have to, but I want to explore clothes and be okay with it. I'm just afraid of people thinking I'm doing it for attention, when honestly, I think it'll make my outfits look better. Yeah, so for this one, I would say, even though most of your friends do, it's okay to be different, and it's okay to not want to show that you are, or it's okay to not want to show your cleavage. Like, it's honestly probably better as well, because when you start to show your cleavage and you start to show off your body and things like that, you get different attention, and it was not always, and most likely not, good attention. It's sexual attention. It's attention that I think in the long run you're not going to want, or in the long run it's not going to be the best for you. Especially if when you get to a point where you do want to start dating for real, if you are interested in being a wife one day, it's just better long term to be more modest. But I'm also biased because I am team modesty. But I think if you do want to explore them, just go to the store and try on different shirts and things like that and see how you feel. But I encourage, and I am a strong proponent of just being more modest, just because there's like a level of peace about it as well, just because you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, is like my nipple is my nipple popping out or something, or is this too low cut, like there's just certain things you don't have to think about. You don't have to think about, oh, is this person like only talking to me because they like how my body looks. Like, there's just a lot of things, and there's a lot of deep dives, especially on YouTube, when it comes to modesty. I highly recommend listening to Milena Ciciotti. She has a really good video about about the topic of modesty, because at one point she was never really modest, and she's come to learn and grow in, and now she has her own experience with modesty. And I highly recommend anyone interested in learning more about modesty to listen to her video about it. Yeah, and you said it might make your outfits look childish. That's not true. Like, in a lot of ways, not showing your chest or showing your cleavage makes you look more sophisticated. There's like a sophistication about it as well. So just setting aside being modest, there's a sophistication and like a level of, I would say, class when you are looking at outfits that don't show your cleavage or don't overly show skin and things like that. There's just like a level of sophistication in class, and I love the old money look. I love the classy look. That's just always been my vibe, and it wasn't until I was 18 as well, 17, 18, 19, when I wanted to experience the whole being a baddie and looking hot, because I always felt like I never looked hot, but I was like cute and pretty and things like that. But I wanted to experience what it was like to look hot and like show my cleavage and all that kind of stuff. And that only brought negative attention and just made me more aware of, like, I guess, how my body looked, like, made me think about it more. Whereas when I was dressing classier and dressing more modestly, that just wasn't something that came to my head. So in a way of protection, I would encourage you, like, if you want to explore it, I'd explore it like in a dressing room and trying clothes on. But just overall big picture down the road kind of thing, I would encourage you, like, it's okay to not show your cleavage. Like, it's fine. And I think there's a maturity about it too. When you come to a point where you're like, I don't really want to show my cleavage like that. I think that's very mature. So yeah. And maybe there is a reason why you don't really want to show your cleavage, because you did say that you grew up around all boys, and you probably know how boys think, and you probably know how boys react to those kind of things. Yeah. So I'm all for exploring clothes, exploring your style, but I don't want you or anyone to do those things and like try to show your cleavage because all your friends are doing it, because you're seeing people do it and you see it on Instagram and things like that. Like, you have to do what's best for you and best for your body, best for what you want out of life, for sure. Okay. Just think big picture. I think that's something I would have told my younger self, is like, big picture. What do you see and how are you going to act to do that? So just something to think about there. In my opinion, modest is hottest, and I think it distinguishes you from the crowd. I think, like, yeah. So, and I think that's a good thing. Like, I think it's good to be consecrated. I think it's good to be not going with the flow of what everyone else is doing, because why would you want to? Why do you want to be like everyone else? Why do you feel pressured in the first place to even do it? I felt pressured to do it because it seemed like that's how people got. It seemed confident. Like, it seemed like, oh, that's confident. Like, she looks good. But really, it wasn't. I don't think the more you reveal, the more confident you are. I think it's the opposite, honestly. Yeah. So 1 Timothy 2:9 says, also the women are to dress themselves in modest clothing with decency and good sense, not with elaborate hairstyles, gold, pearls, or expensive apparel. Now, someone's going to come for me because I have pearls in my earrings. I don't think that's the point. I think the point is not having the attention on you, not drawing the attention so much on you that the message isn't heard, that the message isn't like how you look is overcoming the message of Jesus, or people can't see God because they're so distracted by how you look. And that is not the goal. Also, I'm going to address them. And I think the key word, at least for me, that sticks out is decency. Is showing your cleavage decency, or is that something to draw attention? Yeah, I think it just goes back to decency, which is another reason why I really just love the old money classy outfits, because it's just like understated but clean. So that's why I really like it. Yeah. So is that. Question for you guys. What response do you get when you wear more revealing clothes versus when you don't? How does that make you feel? So for me, when I first started dressing more modestly, I remember going to the club. It was bar hopping, but my outfit was just very modest and very different than what I would have usually worn. And when I tell you, I did not get approached by nobody. Nobody approached me. But before, I'd get approached all the time, or I'd get talked to. But then I did not get approached like at all. And like at the time, I felt like some kind of way. I was like, am I like not cute anymore? Like, am I not pretty? Like, what's happening? But then after like thinking about it some more, is because of how I was dressed. And when people say things like it shouldn't matter how you dress, or they say things like yeah, they just say things like it shouldn't matter how you dress, like people should talk to you however. I just think that's like a bit delusional, because everything's first impressions and how you look. And usually in bar scenes, guys usually are going for girls that look easy, or going for girls that they can take home, or things like that. And so the fact that I feel like because I was dressing modestly in that scene, I had a level of protection around me from people with intentions like that. So yeah, so when I wear more revealing clothing, I got more attention. But when I didn't, it was like a safety aspect. But yeah, so that's all I have. Let me know what you guys think about everything that we talked about today. Drop it down in the comments. Excited to see the conversations go down in there. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget to go over there on Substack if you want encouragement straight to your inbox. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And may the peace and love and grace of Jesus Christ be with you. Bye.